Well, hello, writers. Welcome to episode number 520 of Ink in Your Veins. And I'm Rachael Herron. I am here with my friend Isabelle today, and you are going to love this interview with someone who has found some success as I have been keeping my eyes on her, like watching her grow and fly. And it's just been so fun. So that is coming up. What is going on around here? Well, in the big news, the Seven Miracles of Beatrix Holland is out, and I could not be happier. It has been a joy. This book has just been a joy. It's been a joy. From the time I spoke about it on Mona's podcast, Ease Lessons, I believe that's what I was talking about on that show. They have been a memoir too, probably both of them. Um, till the day that it came out yesterday, it's just been a joy. It's been easy. The writing of it was easy as writing can be. You know, it's frustrating, of course. But most days it was just easy. It was fast. The revision was so enjoyable. Getting edited was incredible. Deciding not to self-publish it and giving it to my agent, great idea. The editing I got from the editing house or the publishing house who bought it, Hachette, Grand Central Publishing, fabulous. And honestly, the easiest edit I've ever had because it was already fully edited and ready to go. So that didn't take much time. And then they bought it so long ago that it was basically a 2-year wait for it to come out with very little editing in there. You know, I got the copy edits at some point, and but there's just been so much time. It's just been sitting there being its own sweet self, having fun on its own. And now it gets to go out in the world and have fun. And I have to say that, it had some advanced readers. So there were some, advanced reader copies out there that were getting reviews on places like Goodreads, etc. Those are great. But the book went live and I had an email from an old friend in my inbox in like 6 or 7 hours saying, I started it, I couldn't put it down. I loved every minute of it. And it came out yesterday, and I've already gotten several of those emails. And I have to tell you there's no, there's no better feeling. And y'all know me well enough that when I have a good feeling, I like to enjoy it and then turn it off at the tap. Like maybe it's going to get too good. Maybe I'm not ready to feel this great about it, about myself, about my work, about my book. But I'm going to let the tap flow for a while with this and really relish this moment because gosh darn it is, writing is hard. Writing is a business, but writing is also an art. It is also a craft. It is something that I've worked really hard to become good at. And now this book is out there flying. It's on the shelves. It's being bought by strangers. Just so weird. And may it fly from the shelves. That is what I say to people on the show quite often. I'm going to say it to my little Seven Miracles, to Beatrix Holland, who started out like me, a pragmatic realist who doesn't have time for that paranormal witchy nonsense. And I wrote that whole book with tarot cards. Every time I got stuck, I drew a tarot card and I let it guide me into my subconscious and figure out what the next scene would be. I was guided throughout that whole book. Who knows what guided me? We've talked about this before on the show. I don't know what kind of higher power is out there. But then again, if I could understand a higher power, it wouldn't be a higher power, would it? It would just be a power that I made up and could understand. I don't understand what's guiding me through that. But that book was a gift. And I am using the past tense. That book is, while I was working on it, I would say it is a gift. But now I'm looking at it right here, just out of the corner of my eye, not the corner of my eye, to my right. And it will be out there. It will continue to be out there and doing its work, but it's on its own now. It's having its own journey. So our relationship was pretty much perfect. It was a perfect relationship. And now I hope that it goes on to have many perfect relationships with other people. And I am celebrating this week. I celebrated the New Zealand Day that it was coming out in America, and then I celebrated the American Day, and then I'm going to celebrate this weekend with some friends, and then it actually comes out in New Zealand, Australia, UK, and maybe Canada next Tuesday, so it's not out there yet. And I am allowing people to say congratulations. And I am saying congratulations to myself. I'm very proud of this book. And with that said, now I can, now I feel like I can clear the decks and go back to the book that I'm writing, which I'm really also loving. All right. The Seven Miracles of Beatrix Holland is available wherever books are sold, unless you're in one of those countries I named, and it won't be out till next week. But otherwise, it should be available for you to go purchase if you're reading it in English. It is in no other languages yet. Yet. Let's jump into the interview with Isabelle. Isabelle Taylor writes sweet, steamy fantasy romance under Isabelle Taylor, LGBT plus horror paranormal romance under IS Belle, and spicy romance under Chase Moorcox. She works at a bookstore in New Zealand, and if your local bookstore allows dogs, she asks that you please bring them in. I have seen her when the dogs come in. I brought her a dog once to the bookstore, and booksellers, it makes booksellers happy. So please do that. Please enjoy this interview with my friend. I know you will. Here we go. Well, I could not be more pleased to welcome my friend to the show. Will you please share your name and pronouns with us?
Hello, I'm Isabel. My pronouns are she, her.
Thank you very much. Welcome, welcome. We have been friends a while, probably ever since I came to Wellington about 4 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, a friend of ours said to me, "Oh, there's this young writer that you need to meet." And I thought, "Okay, I'll meet that young writer." And then we just started hanging out. And when we met, you were eager to write and writing very hard and just getting into like the industry, right? And we would
Yes.
go to coffee and we would talk about stuff. And you have come quite a ways since then. And I know the reason that I wanted to ask you on the show right now is that you have had a pretty fun publishing ride recently. Will you tell us a little? Actually, will you start off and tell us how you come to writing, how you ended up here, and then we'll launch into what's happened recently.
I think the start of my published writing career actually happened because like you introduced me to a bunch of really cool romance writers who were
Yes.
like killing. Am I allowed to swear on this podcast?
Yes, you are.
Yes. Yes.
All the words.
Who were fucking killing it and like self-publishing. And among, and trade, but mostly self-publishing. And they were
Oh,
making like bank. And I was like, holy shit, maybe this is like a thing that I want to pursue. And my
I
first
remember,
pen
and you
name,
came really strongly out of the literary tradition, as I had out of a master's
yeah,
program. And I remember, I think the
yeah,
very first time I ever said the word self-published to you, you like, did the sign of the cross and
yeah.
can't do that.
Not how we do things here. Yeah, because before I met you, I thought it wasn't like a viable. I didn't know much about it. I just didn't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was a viable like business lifestyle, I guess, or like a route. That's the word I'm looking for. And then I met you and all your amazing friends, and the world opened, and a bunch of amazing things happened. And should I launch into the all the publishing stuff?
Yeah, well,
That
start off like first you wrote your ass off because you really are a writer who can just sit down and write. You're like, I'll just write a book this month, and then you just do, or you write two
yeah,
or three. And then I think did you self-publish first, and then you got that first traditional deal?
yeah,
Tell us about that.
yes. So I started self-publishing. I didn't go capital R romance at first. I did yeah, gay young adult horror um, under one pen name, under my young adult pen name, which is IS Belle, because I wanted it to be easy to remember. And so I did that for a bit, and that went pretty well. But I wanted to venture into other stuff, and I wanted to see how well like adult romance did, and also I wanted to experiment with like cozy fantasy romance because like that was getting quite big, and it also
Mhm.
sounded so fun. Um, so I started a second pen name, Isabelle Taylor, for like all things like fantasy romance, mostly straight fantasy romance. Um, and I wrote a cozy fantasy series, so I published that, and then that got picked up this year by Harlequin in a trad pub deal. No agent, just got picked up.
Oh
So
my
that
God,
was
that
in
made me
like,
nervous too. That made me nervous. I was like,
yeah, I
oh,
know, I know.
please,
I
like,
messaged you about it because I'm
look at the
like, she's gonna be
contract
really
carefully.
explain to you.
You need help with that.
Uh,
Don't just
yeah, I
accept.
remember you messaging me like, "Have you gotten someone to look at this?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's fine. I know a lawyer. It's chill." Um, because you should always get a lawyer to look over that kind of stuff because contracts, you know.
And did you push back on
Um,
that one? I think you did have maybe something you pushed back on that contract.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We discussed some stuff.
Yeah.
And compromises were made, which I shan't go into on this
Yeah, you don't need to do
podcast.
that.
But
Yeah.
yeah, compromises were made. I discussed some stuff, and I remember also like people I talked to about that, especially like people who weren't writers, were like, "Oh my God, what if they just tell you to fuck off? Like, you have demands and you have like arguments, and like they won't tell me to fuck off. They'll just say, here's the offer,
Right.
take it
They
or leave
want
it.
you. They've made an
They
offer.
want
They
you.
are not going to rescind it because you push back on the contract. They are expecting you to push back
Yeah,
on the contract. The agents push
yeah.
back on every little detail. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Anyway, yes. So I got that deal, and then so that was for a series,
And you had
and
already done
then
a small traditional publishing house before that too. You had
yes,
it.
yeah, small
Yeah.
traditional publishing house with my young adult pen name for which was Tiny Ghost Press, which is based in the UK, for a Sapphic Fight Club young adult book called Girls Night, um, which was fun. Um, Small deal. Very fun publishing house to work with. I enjoyed writing that book. Anyway, so yes, this year in like February got the Harlequin deal, and then a few months, and then after that I decided I'm gonna write another cozy fantasy romance, and I wrote that, and then I sent it out to agents, and I'm going to explain some publishing stuff for the people who don't know. You probably know because you're listening to the podcast, but if you don't know,
No, this is the stuff we love to go into, and we don't talk about this kind of nitty-gritty stuff. So I would really love to for you to tell us how you did it.
let's go. So I was sending my manuscript out, and what happens when an agent requests a full manuscript? So you send them a query, and if they're interested, they ask for a full manuscript. What you're supposed to do nowadays, apparently, is you notify all the agents that, oh, by the way, someone asked for my full manuscript, and then if someone else also asks you for a manuscript, you email everyone again saying someone else has also asked for it. So you just keep them updated. And by the end of it, I think I had like, oh my God, it felt like a crazy amount of full manuscripts. There was like one day where I woke up and I had like five full manuscript requests. And then I think I ended up with like 17 fulls out in a very quick time frame because I kept spamming them like another agent has
And
entered the
I will
chat.
push back on that a little bit that that normally it isn't the done thing to respond back to all of the agents and say you got another full request. So that's not what we normally do. And you told me that you had done that, and I giggled at you. Literally, I remember giggling at you on a voice text, and then I was like, oh my God, but that's genius. It's not done, but it's genius. What are you doing to all these agents? You're saying, oh, this person's interested. Oh, that person's interested. Oh, that person's interested. You haven't looked at this yet. Maybe you should be interested. Like, I just thought that was a genius,
It was, it was when
naive.
I was
Yeah.
querying like 10 years ago, we didn't do this. But
I
then
don't think
I
anybody
kept
does it
seeing
now. No,
nobody does it now.
no, no, no,
Amazing.
no.
That's
Only you.
hilarious.
Only you.
Okay. I did get an email from an agent as I was doing all this, who said, you're not supposed to tell us the names of the
Yeah, no.
agents who are requesting you. Because
Or
I had
even,
just been like,
yeah. The only time usually people will send that email is when somebody's offered representation.
yeah,
Somebody's offered representation, and then you email everybody. But otherwise, we don't do that. And you were doing that, and it was making you look so good. Not going to encourage other people to do that because oh my God, then it's all going to come back to me like Rachel said you should do this. But I just thought it was really smart because it was showing who you were and that this has legs and other people
yeah.
want to look at this. Oh my God, I forgot that you put the names of other people like X agent wanted a partial and this agent wanted a full. I was dying. I was
I
dying on
was
the phone.
fully just like blasting everyone, like, hey man, this colleague of yours wants it, this colleague of yours wants it. And no one responded telling me don't do that. So I
Except
was
for
just
that
like, all
one
right.
agent and
Except for that
on
one agent who was like, hello, you're not supposed to tell us the names. You're just supposed to say an agent.
and then again, like I remember you saying on a voice note to me, like, nobody told me that. Nobody told, and I was like, you're right. This is one of those unspoken rules that we should speak about. And also,
Mm,
I really like that that agent told you that. I mean, that was a
yeah,
pretty outstanding agent. That is not, is that, that's not the one you went with though, was it?
no,
Yeah.
different one.
So tell us what happened then. Where did it go after all those fulls are out there? 17 fulls are out
Yeah, so I started getting offers.
of
So what happens
representation.
is an agent will say, I'm interested, do you want to set up a call? And then you will go on a call, and all these calls happened at like 7 in the morning New Zealand time because all these agents are American, you know?
And they're all in New York, which is even
Um,
worse. Yeah.
ugh, they're all in New York, goddammit. Um, and so you set up a call and you have a chat and they make you an offer, and then I go down my like hour-long list of questions. It was literally an hour. I felt bad.
You are so good at questions. You always have questions and you know why you want to ask them and you would like some answers. So, yes.
Yes, give me some answers. Give me all the answers. Um, and it was pretty stressful because they were like I got a decent amount of offers, and but I ended up going with Jessica Faust from Bookends.
Incredible.
Um,
Big
Yay,
name.
Jessica.
Yep.
And I'm feeling really good about it. We're doing some good work. She did say like recently, like, you're keeping me so busy. And I'm like,
I
yeah.
am not surprised about that. So let's slow down just a little bit and tell me why you decided to go with Jessica.
I
What
think
were the
just
green flags that made you say yes, this is the one?
I think I mean obviously like on the agent call you want to get a vibe of like, can I work with this person ideally long term? Are we going to be good professionally together? Um, she ticked all my boxes of my 100 questions that I had, you know. Um, and also like when I had other calls with other agents after her, I got this like I got to thinking like I feel like I'm wasting this person's time and my time because
Because
I
you
just
really
want to
liked
go with
her.
Jessica.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And like I don't want to shoot someone down like I by oh I don't want to waste our time. I'm wasting
Right.
like their time and my time.
And if
I'm
you
just gonna go with Jessica.
And if you had been lukewarm or mildly interested in all of them, you would have kept going and going and going until you found the one that really like lit the light bulb.
Yeah.
But once you find the light bulb agent and you click and that offer of representation is there, I remember telling you there's no reason to wait. And
Yeah.
it's and especially with a name like Jessica Faust, she knows everybody. And a friend of ours just signed with her too
Yeah,
recently.
I was really excited.
Yeah.
We can say it. Yeah, Stephanie Holmes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Put it in the group chat. We have a group chat,
Yeah.
and I messaged her privately afterwards. I was like, "Oh my God, Stephanie, we're agent siblings."
Yes,
Oh,
you
I was really
are.
excited. Yay!
That's so cool. All right. So then after that, what happened? After you start working with Jessica,
Right after we started working with Jessica, we actually already had an offer of publication from um a publishing house
is
for
that
that
be
Cozy Fantasy Romance.
and that was because you had
Sorry.
already taken it out to a publisher, so that was
Yes,
already on the
God, I didn't
table.
even mention that. Jesus. So there are some publishing houses that you don't need an agent, you can just submit. So one of those houses had actually two publishing houses had gotten in touch with me about it. And then one publishing house made an offer. That was before I signed with an agent. But
Hmm.
because we had that publishing offer, um, Jessica, my agent, could like go out and like because like usually this process of like sending out a manuscript and getting an editor to agree to it, getting a contract takes like 8 months. But since we already had an offer, she could be like, give us an answer in the next 2 weeks,
Hmm.
which I appreciate.
Yes,
Um,
yes, absolutely. It also made
yes,
you look really good to her because you were pitching yourself at agents saying offer in hand, looking for
yeah,
an agent,
that
basically.
also did speed things up. Man,
Yeah.
I need to like get this story down. There's so many
You
parts. I'm like, oh
got it.
wait,
There
yeah,
are
no,
so many
definitely.
parts, and they're so fascinating. So, okay, so she took it out to multiple editors. How many editors were interested? I don't actually know this part of the story.
We had just the person at the original publishing house
Hmm.
who I had a chat with, and my agent had a chat with, and then the editor who we ended up going with, who was May at Ballantine, one of the imprints of Ballantine, Dell,
Hmm. Hmm.
Banton, Dell.
Hmm.
It's all these
Yep.
little imprints.
Yep.
Um,
Wait, who is Valentine owned by?
and
Is that Penguin Random House? Or is
you
that
know, I should know that.
well, let's Google it real quick because we
Let's
should
look
all
it
know
up.
that. It's either that or HarperCollins. Valentine owned by
That's a nice
Random
microphone, by
House.
the way.
It's Penguin Random House. That's what I thought.
Nice.
Yep.
Good. I should know that.
PRH.
Now I know that. Thank you.
You're welcome. And so that person came back with an offer, and I'm sure that the
Yes.
original editor was like, "Dang it, we're not Penguin Random House. We're not going to be able to offer the same kind of money." They were probably kind of disappointed. And who cares?
Yeah.
This is business.
This is business. It's all business. Yeah, so we ended up going with Bantam and turning down that first one.
And we don't need to say numbers, but it was a deal that pleased you.
It was a deal that pleased me. It was very nice. It was I can't remember if I mentioned um I have this thing where like I've never earned a lot of money in my adult life or just in life in general. I've worked very low wage jobs.
Hmm.
Um and so when I am getting these book deals, I immediately want to go and tell everyone in my life the amount of money that I'm
Yeah.
making from these book deals, which I have been informed can be construed as quite rude, which I get. Even though I disagree, but I get it, I get that it can definitely be seen as rude. So like the day after, everything was confirmed with this. It was a two-book deal as well with Bantam. It's a
Hmm.
two-book deal. Um, Everything got confirmed. I went to work next day, like, oh my God, everything's confirmed about this book deal. I'm really happy with like, the terms and the advance. And everyone was like, okay, cool. No one asked me, not a single coworker asked me what the advance was and how much money I'm getting. And I was just like trying so hard to be polite, but I so badly wanted someone to ask me how much money I'm making.
Well, would
Um,
it be okay if I just said the couched polite terms? Because this is what I have learned by doing it wrong.
mm,
You don't want to say on someplace like a podcast,
yeah,
I was given
for
this
example,
advance of numbers, right?
yeah,
You wouldn't say I was offered $12,000 or whatever it was.
yeah,
But may I use the industry lingo? Would that make you comfortable?
yeah, sure, go with it.
Okay, so the industry lingo for what you got a two-book deal, a two-book six-figure deal, which they call I believe in in publishing terms, that's a nice deal. And you're not saying how much you got per book. Nobody's getting mad at you. And also, in a couple of years, you will be able to tell people exactly what the deal was. But yeah,
Will
I,
I?
I see. Yeah. Because then by then they don't care. They don't think it's like, a conflict of interest or anything like that. They just don't want you to go out um, talking about the exact number right now. I know this because I did that wrong once. And a publisher told me, please
How did
don't do that again. Yeah.
yes. Good to know. Good that we can learn from each other's mistakes. Also, I'm Googling it and it says oh, go away ads. I think it was a very nice deal. Not
Oh,
that it
maybe it's very
matters. It
nice.
doesn't matter.
Maybe because maybe nice
Um,
is like up to six figures and then over that is not very nice. I can't, there is the publisher's marketplace term. There's a code for
yeah,
that.
it's a whole
Yeah.
thing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
But it's so cool. How did it make you feel?
Um, it's weird. I don't know. Like, what do you even, how am I supposed to react? It felt good. It felt very surreal.
And also it's
It
American
felt like maybe I'll
dollars,
pass my
which
student
is
loans one
awesome.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is, do you know, have you looked at your contract yet? Is it paid in 3 bits or 4 bits per book?
I
Four
think it's
four
paid more
pieces.
than that because it's a two
Ah.
book deal and there's like yeah.
Per
So
per
it's
book, it'll probably either be paid out per book in three pieces or 4 pieces.
yeah.
So, but the good one is on signing, and you probably haven't gotten that one yet, have you?
Not yet.
That'll be the nice one because that will be both books. So,
Yes.
that'll be the biggest chunk you will get, and then it will land in your bank account, and you will be super stoked.
Yes. I'm excited.
And you have already delivered that book, or are you editing it now?
We're editing it. We're sorry, we're editing it now.
Hmm.
My editor is sending me the developmental edit notes
Hmm.
sometime in the next week or so.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I am excited, and I've already started working on book two, which is good because I like to have these things done way before the deadline. I was always that
Yeah.
kid in school where like if it's like not done and it's due at midnight, I'm just not doing it. So I need to do it the week before, you know?
That is not common for writers. I find oftentimes
I
writers are the
know it's
ones who
not
do
common
it
for
right at
anyone.
the, it's not,
It's
it's really
weird.
not. But
Yeah.
I think it's nice. That is a nice trait. Tell us more about some of your writing traits. So you work part-time at the bookstore.
Yeah.
right? And where and when and how do you fit writing into your life?
I fit it wherever I can. I wake up and I write, and I get home from work and I write, and I have made a resolution this year that I need to do less writing and more like life stuff because I wrote a
Good.
lot last year.
You did.
I wrote too much to the point where I
It
told
worked out
people and they
okay.
were like, what the fuck are you doing? Are you okay? Like I posted about it on socials and like I had a bunch of friends messaging me like, what the fuck are you doing? Go do stuff. And I'm like, but the
I
laptop,
want to do this. Yeah.
I want to do this. Um, so yeah, I should probably call it, but I've been saying that all year and I don't know if I'm calling it. And I just got like all these book deals. So if anything, you know,
If you were to look around and and add balance to your life that wasn't writing, what would you want to do?
um, maybe get back into boxing,
Ooh,
get back into surfing, although it's cold in winter and it's just not worth it
yeah.
in winter. I just started listening to audiobooks, which I'm very excited about. I
I
haven't
just
been reading very much.
audiobooks are really great, right? Like I'm
It's
also
so
into them.
good.
Yeah.
I've listened to two books in the last like 3 days, and I haven't been reading very much since I've started writing seriously. So it's a big relief.
What do you do while you're listening to the audiobooks?
I'm on the bus or I'm at the gym. Um, that's it. Or I'm driving around sometimes.
We probably won't get to all the questions that I sent you, but I know which ones I want to ask you. What what part of writing do you struggle with the most?
The kind where it's not actually writing, it's like you have a plot point that like is bad and you need to find
Yeah.
a way to fix it, and you can't like write your way out of it. You have to stare at a wall or you have to like talk to someone and you have to just like think your way out of it. I think I do a lot better when I have someone to like bounce ideas off. But if you're just staring at the wall and your just brains going around in circles, um, that's the worst part of writing for me.
That is a miserable, miserable
Yeah,
part of writing. But then
it
again,
sucks.
if we are putting our characters into difficult enough situations that we just have to think for 5 minutes and like, oh, I got it, then it's probably not a very difficult situation anyway. So I always reckon when I
Exactly.
am stuck very hard, then yeah, it's a sticky wicket and I'm gonna have to be creative to get out of it. It does not help in the moment. It helps, it's easy to say later. So, let's see. I'm even forgetting all my questions. Could you share a craft tip of any sort with us that you have uncovered over the years?
Yes, a craft tip that I use pretty frequently is if you're stuck, it's usually not like the last sentence you wrote, it's like 10 lines before, and you need to just take the whole chunk out and like go in a different direction, usually.
Ooh, I think one has to be pretty self-aware of the writing in order to do that because I can really barrel on and do two or three or four more chapters and
Oh no.
not realize that I have been pushing the boulder up the hill and it's not going to stay up the hill. So, but yes, looking behind you and removing and changing is often a very nice way to do things.
Yeah.
What is the kindest thing you've ever done for yourself as a writer? Besides
I
listening
moved,
to Auntie Rachel.
sorry.
Besides listening to Auntie Rachel, who
Of
is
course, because that
who's
was
very bossy.
obviously that's the nicest thing. That's a great answer. I'm going to save that for another podcast sometime. Um, I think moving back to my hometown so I could live
Mm.
somewhere for much cheaper, and cut down on my day job and focus on writing more. And for like the first 2 years, it felt like maybe I've made a horrible mistake. And then, which honestly, like 2 years, not that long, you know, when you're telling a story, like, oh, 2 years, whatever. But at the time, it was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
maybe this was the
Well,
wrong idea.
I have seen some, I wasn't worried about this with you at all because I know you, but I have seen so many people do that kind of thing. Like, oh, I'm gonna do this so I can write more. And then they don't write more. But
Yeah.
you actually did. And you actually did move into a place where you can save money and work a lot less than you had to struggle to make ends meet to live in Wellington, which is a much
Mm.
more expensive cost of living here. Well, that's a
Oh
lovely
yeah.
answer. When was a time that you knew you had ink in your veins?
Um, I don't know how much this like sticks to the prompt, but
It does not have
um,
to stick at all.
okay.
Yep.
So
Yep.
in high school, Um, I was the top 10 in a poetry writing competition, national poetry competition. So I got flown up, me and 10 other, students got flown up to Victoria University for a day. For those of you not in the know, Victoria University is home of the International Institute of Modern Letters, which is the best creative writing school in New Zealand. Um, and we all got to sit in the legendary workshop room where all the magic happens, and we got to do a workshop for a day. And apparently, famous New Zealand poet Ruby Solly was there, and then I ran into her like years later, and she's like, "Oh yeah, we were at that thing together." And I didn't remember her, which was horrifying because she's so cool and so talented. And I think she saw in my eyes that I did not remember, or maybe I said out loud, "I don't remember you," which I hope that I wasn't that rude, but who knows? I was like 22 or something, so I could be that rude. Um, yeah. Anyway, so we did the workshop, and it was so lovely. And there's like this beautiful. Have you been in the workshop room over
No, I never have.
there? No. I was
Yeah.
like, why would Rachel?
Yeah.
Um,
I didn't even know about
anyway,
it.
they have this beautiful window like overlooking Wellington, like the sea and the town and the beautiful glittering harbour, whatever. And there was a point where I was like alone in the room, this like lovely workshop room where all the magic happens, and so many amazing New Zealand writers have passed through it. And I had this like vividish memory of like being, I don't know, 15, 16, and like just standing at the window looking at Wellington and going like, I'm gonna come back here and I'm gonna do my masters, and it's gonna be, this the start of a wonderful journey. Which I guess it did turn out that way, but not in the way of me getting my master's at the IML was not the jumping off point to my writing career. It was a really fun year. I'd do it again, but it didn't help me with my career very much.
That
But
is
it was a
what
great year.
that is what I always say about my master's in creative
Yeah.
writing. It didn't help me with my career at all, but I did have fun, and
Yeah.
I said, and it took so long to pay that off. So long
Oh
to
my
pay
God.
off that debt.
Oh,
So
oh,
long. But
yep.
it was we were giving ourselves that time in the ivory tower, and that's a wonderful thing to give ourselves. So well done us. All right. What is the best book that you have read recently? And I know that's difficult. You work in a bookshop. But what would you say?
It's not difficult because I've been reading very few books since I started writing seriously, but since I started listening to audiobooks, it's all on. Two books in the last week, Rachel. That's ridiculous. So the best book I read recently is the first book I read on audiobook. It's called Lights Out by Nevessa Allen. It's a dark romance. It's a dark romance in terms of the situation is kind of dark, but the characters are like mostly pretty good to each other, which is
Hmm.
like my favorite kind of dark romance.
Yeah.
And it was so fun and very sweet, and like just the right amount of like messed up. Um,
Oh, that
I would
sounds
recommend it
wonderful.
to anyone who's into. Go read the blurb and see if you're into the kind of things that it goes into. Um, because if not, then stay away. But if you are, I'd really recommend it. Great book.
Fabulous. Would you like to tell us about what book would you like to tell us about right now that is out that people could grab from you? Give us
Sure.
the title, the name it's written under, and maybe a brief log line.
Amazing. Um, I would like to tell you about Bound by Isabelle Taylor, which is my fantasy romance pen name. It is a monster romance. It is a very spicy, high heat monster romance. It came out in June, along with the second book in the series, which is the Skull Stalker Bride series. A log
That's a
line,
great name.
thank you. A log line, which I've actually never had to say out loud before, I'm now realizing. I've only ever written it down. Um, a sweet witch um, binds a monster to save her town, only for the monster to reveal that it's actually a mating ritual, and he falls head over horns for her.
That is delightful, and you did a very good job of that log line.
Thank you. I was
That's
like, I had typed it so many times that my mind was going, what word comes after this? And the autocorrect when I start typing it.
Head over horns is brilliant. That's perfect.
Thank you so
All
much.
right. And where can we find you out there?
Um, on Isabelle Taylor, you can find me on Isabelle Taylor Author on Instagram and TikTok. And then from there, you can just navigate to all my other pen names because I have
Do you
three
have,
now.
wow. Do you have two TikToks then?
I have three.
Oh
I
my
actually have
God.
four because I have two for my Isabelle Taylor. It's a whole thing, Rachel. It's a whole thing.
Do you still enjoy doing TikTok?
It's a loaded question, Rachel. Um, uh, I enjoy connecting with people when I do get the chance on social media. I like the social part of social media. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of socialness on my social medias
Mhm.
because I'm so busy. Um,
Do you think that it helps you sell books? I'm sorry, you broke right there, so I didn't hear the answer.
oh, I broke. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You are in some genres that I think that that is really useful for. And you're also good at it. You're funny and fun and photogenic and all of that. So, keep it up as long as you can, as long as it's not breaking you down to have four different
Ah,
accounts. Well, this has been a joy. Thank you so much. I am so glad that you came on the show and told us about this wild ride of Isabel. So,
it's a roller coaster, and I really need to streamline this story because you keep
no,
reminding me of stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, no, yeah, that other thing as well. Yeah, thanks, Rachel.
we like to go
Um,
on the whole journey here. So,
yeah,
thank you, my friend. And I'm going to see you in a couple weeks at Romance Riders of New Zealand. So, that'll be
very
wonderful.
excited.
Okay,
Yay.
bye.